I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar, Michigan. When we drove into Traverse City, I remember feeling, well, guilty for not having been there in so long. It's a really cool place, and it seems like every year they think of another reason why it's so cool. Now check this out. In the last 2 years, national travel experts have put Traverse City in the top 10 for best beach community, best food town, and best wine destination. And AOL Travel News just named Traverse City one of the top 10 coolest cities in the United States. Can't argue with that. Traverse City is located in northeastern Lower Michigan, right at the base of beautiful Grand Traverse Bay. A ton of roads will get you here, so just get a map and get in the car. This is definitely one of the most beautiful places in Michigan. The wineries are exceptional, the boating is the best, and the downtown has tons to offer. There's every kind of shop imaginable here, and tons of incredible restaurants that serve the great wines that are made right here. But wine isn't the only liquid that's made here. Here's one that was totally under my radar. Did you know that one of the top 6 best vodkas are made right here in Traverse City? I'll drink to that. Responsibly, of course. In a totally unassuming location just south of town is a little place called Grand Traverse Distillery. And believe me, they're making heads turn around the world. After a tour of the distillery, I had a chance to sit down with Kent Rabish, the man behind the still. We found out about this place from one of our Facebook fans. And I have to be honest, when I think of fine vodkas and whiskeys, I don't think of Traverse City, Michigan. How did you get into this business?
Well, we're trying to change that perception. My wife and I were on vacation back in the year 2000. We went to Bend, Oregon to visit friends. Before dinner one night, we went out and they said, let's stop at this tasting room for the Bend Distillery. So we went in, I tried their vodkas, a couple different products, and what I found was, I'm Polish, love vodka, super high quality. And I came back to Michigan thinking, why isn't anybody doing that in the Midwest? So it came just because I just thought there's no one here and there's no reason why we can't produce our own high quality spirits rather than shipping everything in from all over Europe.
Well, tell me about some of the products that and some of the awards you've won.
Yeah, we've taken 5 gold medals at the world's largest blind tasting events. And how they work these, if you're a distiller, I mean, I like our product. I think we do a really nice job, but I also need the experts to review us. So you send them your product, they take them out of the fancy bottles because everybody's got a very nice looking bottle. They put them in nondescript glass, they send them with a tasting panel, and they do different profiles, you know, aroma, flavor, and finish. And everybody's graded equally. At the end of the day, they rate you, maybe the top 10%, the top 5, the top 20%. And in each of these competitions, we've taken gold medals, which puts us in the top 10% of world's vodkas. And that injured dependence on foreign alcohol, we're trying to change that where people feel that they don't want to look at something from Michigan because it can't be as good of a quality as something from Europe. We're changing that, but it just takes time to change the perception.
Now, you're a Michigan guy. Do you use Michigan resources to make these products?
We use all of our wheat, rye, and corn are generally grown within 50 to 75 miles of Traverse City. I've gone up to Escanaba when we ran out of rye here early on, but basically we now are buying enough grain. We've bought about 400,000 pounds so far locally. We have farmers now calling us saying, look, I've got 40 acres. If I put in wheat or rye or whatever, will you buy? So some of it we buy through a local elevator, other we just buy directly from the farm.
Awesome. So you're a Michigan guy using Michigan resources, selling a Michigan product in Michigan to Michiganders. Yes, that works for me. Getting to taste a vodka that was rated one of the best 6 in the world was awesome. But the really cool part was that it was made right here in Michigan. And that's where I live. Yes. Next, we jumped in a car and headed across town because there was an event I just had to go to. Now here's an event that's been above my radar for years, but for some reason I just never made it up here. It's the National Cherry Festival. It attracts over 500,000 people every year. It's in its 84th year. It's all about cherries, and I love cherries, and there's tons to do here. Traverse City is the cherry capital of the world, so every year the entire town gets together and celebrates everything cherry. From cherry pies and candies to cherry wines and even cherry barbecue sauce. If you can make it with cherries, it's here and it's good. Well, once we got deep into the festival, I discovered what my crew had in store for me. It turns out that one of my camera guys entered us in a cherry pie eating contest and was looking forward to making me eat my words, not my pie. This is Kevin. Wave hi, Kevin. Kevin's gonna go down. He's gonna lose. You know why? Why are you gonna lose?
I'm not gonna lose.
Yeah, he says he's not gonna lose.
Okay, I'm gonna call up the first five people if you just want to be ready to...
The tension was mounting, but I could see my antics were not only intimidating Kevin, they were also getting the crowd on my side. Can I get sprinkles?
Okay, gentlemen, on your mark. Get set. Go!
Well, I glanced over at my pie-eating nemesis, Kevin, and I realized very quickly that things weren't looking so good. Woo! Well, suddenly it hit me. Kevin had won and I had lost, so now it's time to eat my words and congratulate Kevin.
And I just beat Tom. 1:50. 39 seconds.
All right. Good job. I'm a good sport. Where we went next blew my mind. It's another great story that totally reminds me why I live in Michigan. See these buildings right behind me? Pretty scary looking, aren't they? For over 100 years, this was the Northern Michigan Asylum just outside Traverse City, where patients from all over the Midwest came to get better. You won't believe what it is now. In 1989, the asylum closed down and these beautiful buildings just fell into complete ruin. And it looked like this entire 63-acre complex was destined to just decay away. Well, thanks to the Minervini Group, this place is turning into one of the coolest places to live, work, and play in Michigan. It's now the village at Grand Traverse Commons, and it's one of the largest historic preservation and adaptive reuse developments in the country. They're actually turning this entire place into a self-contained community just outside of Traverse City with great shops, great restaurants, and really cool living spaces. This incredible vision became a reality thanks to the hard work of Ray Minervini. What was your inspiration? What made you decide to take on this tremendous...
Well, it was, you know, a trip to Italy was what really was one of the major factors behind my decision to do this, because I went to visit and I still have some relatives there, and we're in the little village that my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents grew up in, and it's been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah, matter of fact, I asked my cousin how old Chieti was, and he said he couldn't understand. My English is poor, or my Italian is poor, and he couldn't understand. Chieti, he says, is before Rome.
Whoa.
That's pretty old.
That's right.
And, you know, so understanding, you know, that. And these cities are still there, and they're still vibrant. There's still people living in them, you know, and they're still successful communities.
Tell me about all the amenities here. Tell me about what this place has to offer somebody who wants to come to live here.
We have $1 million condos, and then immediately adjacent to the $1 million condo is a $100,000 condo. You don't see that in the city too often, you know?
No.
So, but we're beginning to learn it's important to have that mix. That mix is critical. You can live upstairs here in a condo. You can take the elevator down to the Mercado, go through the Mercado and stop at the deli, or you could go to the gelato shop, or you can go to the coffee shop, or you can walk across the street to the bakery, or go over to the winery for some wine tasting if friends come in, or go to the restaurant downstairs. So everything's right here.
Like you said, people from all walks of life, all living together in a community.
Yeah.
Ray took some time to show me around, and even though this project is only 25% completed, they've created some incredible spaces here. These old buildings were designed to let in a lot of light, and the spaces that they've turned into restaurants here are outstanding. It's amazing how comfortable these buildings feel. Next, Ray took me to Pleasanton. It's a real brick oven bakery where everyone in the village picks up their fresh bread every day.
Oh my gosh, this is a workout, watching her do this?
Oh yeah.
This is better than Pilates.
This is the easy part.
This is the real thing. I mean, it's wonderful bread. It's just, it's
You guys
you know
all
what it is?
tried
It's
that.
the secret ingredient that Hannah stirs in there. And
It's
Sarah.
love.
It's love. You mix in there. That's right. And that's why it's so good.
Are those love chips in
These
there?
are love chips, yeah.
The village even has its own winery right on the village square. Left Foot Charlie's? Now, Left Foot Charlie, the winery, tell me again where the name came from, Left Foot Charlie?
Well, the owner, Brian Ulbrich, he was very klutzy as a child. And back then, the term for a klutzy child was a left-foot
Charlie, right.
And
Next, Ray took me to a place that they were just starting to renovate.
Wow, so this is the chapel where all
Yes.
the patients would come.
yes.
Now, what
but
will this become?
This will become a chapel again, and we'll use it for Sunday services, but also for weddings, because Traverse City is a great wedding location, destination place for weddings. But we'll also have banquets here as well, and musicals, and we'll reinvent the building. Each building, we have to create and find new uses for the buildings, much like we all need to do in our lives.
Right, right.
And-
which you've done for a lot of businesses
And
here.
a lot of the businesses the new businesses that we have here are people who have been reinventing themselves, which is what, as we know, Michigan in general needs to be doing. We got to reinvent ourselves. And these are the opportunities that we need to create
Right,
for people to do just that very thing.
You're a great inventor.
Well, it's, you know what? It's a great place we live. We're lucky we're here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Spending the day with Ray gave me a real appreciation for what he and his family have done here. There's 100 reasons to visit the village at Grand Traverse Commons, but once you've been here, you'll probably find even more reasons to stay.